Thieu Citadel. History of Nguyen Dynasty and the portrait of 13 kings of the Nguyen Dynasty, the last dynasty in Vietnam. It's one of the best informations for you. History and portrait of 13 emperors of Nguyen Dynasty in details made by Saigon Top Tours.
History of Nguyen Dynasty in Vietnam. Compilation by Saigon Top Tours. This very good in details for you to know about history of Nguyen Dynasty when you travel to visit Vietnam country. The Nguyen Dynasty established after Nguyen Anh, Emperor Gia Long, ascended the throne in 1802 and completely ended when Emperor Bao Dai abdicated in 1945, for a total of 143 years. The Nguyen Dynasty is a dynasty that marked many ups and downs of history, especially the French invasion in the mid-19th century. The main periods of Nguyen Dynasty. The first period, 1822. It was an independent period. The Nguyen emperors took full control of the country, undergoing 4 emperors: Gia Long King, Minh Mang King, Thieu Tri King, and Duc Duc King. Gia Long King and later Minh Mang tried to build Vietnam on the Confucian foundation and abolish the progressive reforms of the Brothers of Thai Sn. During the Minh Mang King period time, there were many wars to seize territory in Cambodia. It made the treasury completely used up. By the time of Duc Duc King, all aspects of the country were deteriorating. From the 1850s, a group of intellectuals Vietnamese, typically Nguyen Truong Tu, recognized the country's stagnation and demanded Western learning to develop industry, trade, military, foreign reform. However, most of the Nguyen Dynasty officials and scholars were unaware of the need for reform and opening up the country, so Duc Duc King did not determine to implement these proposals. Dai Nam gradually became stagnant, backward and in danger of invasion by European colonists. The second period, 1858 to 1945. It was the period of the French invasion and domination since the French attacked Da Nang and ended after the abdication of Bao Dai Emperor. In August 1858, the French Navy amphibious attack on the port of Da Nang and then moved to invade Gia Dinh. June 1862. Duc Duc Emperor signed a treaty to cede the 3 eastern provinces to French. In 1867, French occupied the next 3 western provinces to form a colonial territory Cochinchine. After consolidating a firm position in Cochinchina, from 1873 to 1886, the French conquered the rest of Vietnam through the wars in Tonkin. In the end, in 1884, the Nguyen Dynasty officially recognized the right of French rule over Vietnam. The French got the right to rule the country, while the Nguyen emperors retained the throne but were only like puppets. The French army could arbitrarily set up the Nguyen emperors. This period ended when Bao Dai King announced his abdication in 1945. Then he left Vietnam to live in French until he passed away in 1997. The Nguyen Dynasty's culture, heritages and symbols. The Nguyen Dynasty has left a lot of cultural heritages for the Vietnamese people. Some of these have been recognized by UNESCO as World Heritage, such as Hieu Imperial Court Music, Hieu Monuments Complex, or Nguyen Dynasty's woodblocks. Vietnamese history professor Phan Huy Ly remarked that there has never been a period of history that left the Vietnamese people with 3 cultural heritages recognized and honored by the world with values of global significance. So, the Nguyen Dynasty also left a huge system of bibliographies in the Nguyen Dynasty. Educational system. Thousands of communal houses, temples, churches to the power of, stretching from the south to the north of Vietnam to the power of. Many of these legacies have long been forgotten and regarded as a remnant of the rotten to the power of. Hieu Royal Court Music was recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2003. The complex of Hieu monuments of the Nguyen Dynasty. The complex of Hieu monuments is recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage on December 11, 1993. Most of these relics are now under the management of the Hieu Monuments Conservation Center. In the history of Vietnam in modern times, the construction of Hieu Citadel is probably the largest scale with thousands of people taking part in the construction, millions of cubic meters of rock and soil, with a giant's workload such as dug trenches, river filling, emigration, relocation of tombs, embankment, lasted from the time of conducting the survey under the Gia Long Emperor in 1803 until the completion of the Minh Mang Emperor's reign in 1832. The style of architecture and the layout make Hieu Imperial City really a great and fortified fortress ever in Vietnam. A French captain, Le Ray, when coming to Hieu in 1819 had to say, "Hieu Imperial Citadel is indeed the most beautiful, symmetric fortress in Indochina, even compared to Fort William in Calcutta and St. George in Madras by the British." Thank you very much for your watching.